strategy across the continent, strengthening international education pathways and professional standards. And as a fact, I'm a beneficiary of having played the role when she was business development manager. At the time, the school was new and she was helping us through just to understand the whole ITEC ecosystem. She currently serves as an international examiner for VTCT slash ITEC, auditing benchmarking beauty therapy qualifications globally to ensure academic integrity and international comparability. As a former cruise ship therapist, current global recruiter with Castaway, she has placed lots and lots of therapists in cruise lines, luxury resorts, and hotel spas worldwide. Her combined expertise in recruitment, qualification governance, and premium product house development positions her as a trusted authority on global spa career pathways. And this is the reason she was a perfect fit for our meet night. So, Chido, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, when introduces me like that, I can't believe that I've done all of that. It makes me sound so special. Thank you very, very much for that presentation, Winnie. Kenya, it's lovely to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Winnie, I know I'm having technical issues as well on my end, sharing the prepared presentation for you. Are you able to share the presentation?
Yes. Oops. Sorry, I shared the email. Hold on.
If you could just ask, I think there's a couple of people who have their mics not on mute, so there's quite a bit of interference. If we could just ask everybody to mute their microphones, then everybody will be able to hear me well.
Yes, please. Let's mute our microphones. And then what will happen at the end of the presentation, we will have a Q&A as we always do. So yes, so please feel free to switch off and you'll be able to unmute yourself when you're speaking. I'm going to open Chido's presentation.
Thank you.
Uh, okay.
So
It's
while
opening its
Winnie, perfect. While Winnie does that, I'll just briefly introduce myself. Nowhere near as well as Winnie did, but good evening, everybody. My name is Chido Chitsike. I have been in the beauty industry for many, 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 many years. I started off working on cruise ships. I've owned my own centers, 2 centers. I've done business development with VTCT ITEC. I've been an examiner. And one of my new latest exciting journeys, I'm going to introduce to you a bit later on my beautiful colleague, Itai Mutasa. I have joined also a company called Mweya. We are distributing a product, well, not just a product, but one of the main products that we're focusing on at the moment is called QMS, but we will be distributing a lot of luxury products across Africa and the Middle East. So there we go. Now that it's up, that will help me have some more to say. So first of all, like I said, welcome everybody. So this is just a slide just to tell you a bit about myself, what I do, which I think we have gone through, and a picture that I think AI has made me look a lot better than what I look like. But that was just to share with you a little bit about what I do. Like I said, I have been very, very involved in the beauty industry. Therefore, I know that there is a lot more in the industry than cruise ships. I think a lot of young therapists do think that there is only cruise ships, but there is so much more beyond cruise ships. However, I will say working on cruise ships does also give you a good platform to be able to work in other industries. You definitely learn how to work hard. We had 12-hour days, 6 days a week. And I think once people see that you've done a contract or 2 on ships, they definitely know that you're a hard worker, and that you kind of know the industry quite well. I think we can go on to the next slide. So again, like I said here, this slide I just prepared for you to tell you a little bit about my journey, which I think that I've done. Started off, I think, on the cruise ships when I was about 19. I think the rules have changed now. You've got to be 21, but I was a very, very young therapist on board cruise ships. I worked in luxury hotels and spas, starting off in the Middle East. I worked for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Bahrain, um, and actually was there when Bill Clinton came and did a visit, so got to meet him. That was amazing. I actually have been part of two international colleges that have used ITEC. And once I tell you a little bit more about Itai, you will learn that I've worked with Itai's mom for many, many years, and now I'm so excited that I get to work with Itai. I owned a college with Itai's mom that's actually still running. Itai's waving there just so you can see her. And then I had to very sadly say bye to Karen, because I had an opportunity that I just could not say no to. VTCT ITEC asked me to come on board as a business development manager for Africa. And then later on, I went into being an examiner. And while I was doing that, I was also doing part-time recruitment for cruise ships and resorts. And now I'm with Mweya. So I do a lot, but it's just, I think it's good also to show how much more diverse your beauty industry can be. You know, you don't just have to be a therapist. And you can see a couple of photographs there of me at some exhibitions that we've done. Winnie, I believe you were there this year. I actually should have put the photograph of yourself and I, because I do have one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, we can go on to the next slide. So, like I said, the industry has evolved. There is so much more. I think back in the day, they even used to call us beauticians, and I think it's evolved now. We specialize in different industries. You can specialize and work under a dermatologist more in the medical fields. You can become an esthetician yourself. I think when I studied, we were very much roped into you have to do everything, which I think most commonly all of you guys will know that, which is the South African term health and skincare. And you kind of were doing everything. But now a lot of people are specializing. You've got nail technicians, you've got aesthetics, you've got clinics, you've got luxury resorts, you've got the cruise ships. You can become brand ambassadors, which is something Itai is also going to touch on when we talk about it, because we're actually looking for brand ambassadors across Africa. Product educators, there's so much. And I will share this. I don't want to bore you guys and start sort of reading. I will share this with Winnie. Well, I already have, and I'm happy for Winnie to share this with everybody that's on this platform. I don't want to sort of start reading a presentation to you, but this slide is basically just showing you how much more is there, because the industry absolutely has evolved. I remember, I always joke, I think my dad didn't understand exactly what it was I wanted to do. He was expecting me to go to university, become an accountant, a lawyer, or something like that. And when he looked not cheap to do this qualification, and he want me to pay this much for you to learn how to paint nails, and he always regrets now, and sort of understands a bit more about exactly, he's very proud of me and what I've definitely art has evolved. We can move on to the next slide.
Is that okay?
So we're talking about where global, yes, slide that I really did, because maybe also because I'm on the education side, I'm very passionate about sure you get the correct qualifications. I have, through obviously examining, but also more through recruitment, have seen a lot of people devastated because they haven't done their research, number one, about where they're studying, as in who is going to teach them, and what qualification that person is actually offering. and is it going to make sense or get you far? Because I think you will find, if you're a therapist, I think, Winnie, we've got quite a few. I think if you into you have been looking at jobs, you will see a lot of opportunities. They will always ask for ITEC Tedesco qualification. As I won't too much on blood, but look, they an international qualification. But I did Tedesco, but working behind with ITEC, I understand a lot. And most important things about ITEC is we're actually a regulated qualification, which is something a lot of people do not understand what that means. But basically, what that means is ITEC will never just wake up and say, we're going to create a diploma called skin and eye treatments. Do you know what I mean? We have to go through AFQUAL, which is the regulatory board in the UK, because ITEC obviously is based in the UK. We've now been bought over by VTCT Skills, I believe, for the last 9 years, but we still carry on as our ITEC brand. VTCT is also regulated by AFQUAL in the UK. So I'm not saying by any shape, form, or whatever your qualification must be from a certain country or anything like that. But what I will tell you, within the industry, internationally, ITEC is probably your most recognized qualifications, where you're not going to have issues with employers sort of trying to figure out, is this a proper qualification? What have you studied? And therefore, so it's very important in order to make yourself what's the word that I'm looking for, attractive or employable. Actually, that's the word that I'm looking for, that you ensure that whatever qualification that you do is recognized. And another thing, I'm not trying to contradict anything that we're talking about here, but there isn't just beauty, like in terms of what we do. We fall under health, the health qualifications. There is fitness, we have fitness qualifications. It's not just beauty therapy. There's some girls that are really fit and would rather do that. Like, we've got hairdressing. There is more. And if you even were to go onto the ITEC website, I think, God, when we've had so many conversations, I think you'll see, like, we have over like 700 different qualifications, but even barbering. So we're finding that a lot more male therapists are coming in. I think before, maybe, and this is why I don't like the word necessarily beauty, but I like health and things like that, because we don't want to limit people. There's endless possibilities. Like I said, the barbering, the fitness, there's loads of qualifications, and under VTT, which I think we talked today, but like hospitality, and you can always have a look at that. But we are focusing on the health and wellness part. So not just the traditional beauty aspects, there are other units that you can study. And always good to do a lot, so that you always options. I think we can next slide, because what's popular today, tomorrow, or sometimes you don't know what you're going to enjoy. You might think you're going to enjoy something, but when you study something else, you're like, oh gosh. So it is quite nice that there is sort of like health and skincare, where you can do a little bit of everything and it lies. Right, I think I'm ready. Oh, someone said a bit of buffer. I hope you can hear me.
So that's a one.
Okay. And yeah, one is fine. Competitive edge. Okay, we can go back to this one. As I said, I will share this with everybody. The skills that open national doors, I think it's kind of into, but again, just something that we always also have to be cognizant of, being professional.
Chido, your line is breaking a bit. I think you're losing you.
Making sure that you're okay.
We've lost you, Chido. We've lost you. I don't know whether you can hear us. Okay, you can try again now. We lost you when you're telling us about the skills.
We've lost her. I think we can assist her by also putting off our cameras. Then
Okay.
she can have as much
Yes,
internet for the time being. When she comes back, I know that sometimes it
it helps.
gives difficulties. Yeah, let's give her that.
Me. Right. Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I've tried to also join from my phone. That might be better than the laptop. So I will be on both. Sorry about that. Yes, so we were talking about the skills that are going to open doors internationally. Obviously, making sure that you've got the actual technical skills, which is the qualifications, ensuring that you are commercially viable. I know something that a lot of us don't like to really talk about is, and I think a lot of training is also not done, is on retail. As therapists, it is part of our job to sell products. The only way you're going to be able to sell a product is if you understand it. I also don't like the word sell, I like the word prescribe. Because if you go to a doctor and you tell your doctor, listen, these are the issues that I'm having, and the doctor just goes, "Oh, I'm really sorry about that. I hope you feel better soon." It's not, when you go to a doctor, you expect that when you tell the doctor about a problem, the doctor's gonna prescribe things to you, which is exactly what we need to do. So when we are treating the body, the skin, anything that we're treating on a client is our responsibility, um, to ensure that we're prescribing. And you'll find, especially internationally, that is a huge part of the business. So product house training is also very important. Expose yourself to lots of different products, make sure you understand them, and that you're comfortable and don't feel awkward to prescribe. Like I said, I don't really like the word sell, because it makes it. But if you think about it, like someone's coming to you and saying, look, this is the issue that I have with my skin, and you're going to prescribe them and help them, and I find it very satisfying, to be able to help someone and see their journey with their product. Okay, then of course, being professional. Look, unfortunately or fortunately, the language of the world is English. You're going to need to be able to, in a lot of cases, ensure that you are fluent enough in English. Obviously, there are opportunities. Also, French is a great one. German is a good one. Mandarin's becoming a good one as well. So if you can have a second language, besides your own native language, English, and something else, of course, you're going to become um, more marketable as well. We all need to have cultural and intelligence and emotional maturity, especially if you're going to be going and working internationally. Like I said, I worked in the Middle East, and gosh, I learned so much, just about how the world is different. The ladies in the Middle East were very fussy about nail polish. We spent a lot of time finding nail polishes that were breathable, because they wanted to be able to pray and have their. So you have to be willing to learn and explore and learn different cultures, and understand that people are different if you want an international career. Right, next slide, please. My assistant Winnie, you're doing such a good job. I think here we've covered the power of international qualifications. Again, like I said, I think if you look on the ITEC VTCT skills website, our tagline is actually your passport to the world, because we are recognized everywhere. We can go to the next one. Right, the competitive edge product house training, which Itai is going to cover for me shortly, and she's going to talk about Mweya and what we're doing there. And look, she's going to cover QMS, because obviously that's the main luxury skincare and body product that we use. But whatever she's going to tell you is going to be applicable to everything, but you're going to understand about why it's important. Also, if you're looking for an international job, there are some big brands where, if you know they're used across the world, if you've done the training, you know the product, you've worked with the brand, it's easier for them to employ you, because then they don't have to sort of retrain. we can move on to the next slide. Okay, how to prepare, being realistic. Again, like we've said, ensure you've got the right qualification, ensure you do product house trainings and expose yourself, ensure you understand about retail, ensure your CV is professional. And look, this is another topic that if one day Winnie wants to invite me back for, I can cover with you guys. I'm not going to go too much into it because it's a lot. Nowadays, your CV has to be ATS friendly. And that is completely different to how we've previously done CVs. AI needs to be able to pick up keywords. So you really need to understand how to create a CV that, unfortunately, now AI is going to pick up first. Prepare for interviews adequately again, and gain exposure to different clients, and work in as many places as you can. Great. That's Are we? Do I have another slide, Winnie?
Uh, no, I think the next one is practical pathways.
Yes. So again, like I said, it's I'm not gonna bore everyone by reading through a lot of things. I will share this with everybody, but and we'll see what in question and answer, whatever anybody else feels that I have not covered, but the slide will be there. I'm happy to answer questions, but I prefer to have a conversation than to talk at people. So I think I've said the main things. And now is beautiful Itai there. Itai, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Great. I'm going to hand you all over to my colleague Itai, and she's going to talk about a little bit about Mweya and QMS and what we do there. Thank you so much, Itai, for being here.
Amazing. I'm super excited. I am going to present my screen. Can you guys see this?
I think, Winnie, have you stopped sharing
Yes,
yours?
I have, and we can see hers.
Okay, great.
Okay, amazing.
Great. Perfect.
So I'm going to walk you guys through QMS really quickly. The part of Chido's presentation to you that kind of ties this in is having a good understanding and a good relationship with global brands such as QMS. Because when you're discovering new channels of employment, specifically as a therapist, brands like these that focus primarily on the B2B channel, especially the professional B2B channel, gives you a much wider opportunity. So along with all the training that you would do to obviously be qualified to apply to these jobs, having a good awareness of the brands in the industries outside of the cruise ships that you can potentially work for or work with gives you an even greater edge for your CV, for your network, etc. So I thought, and Chido had the great idea to kind of tie in QMS to her presentation. One, because Chido wears many hats, QMS is one of them, and that's where we work together, but it also kind of adds to your portfolio of what makes me someone that is, internationally recognized, respected, and qualified. So QMS, I will start to go through. QMS is a German cosmetics brand. It is known most well for being the first and only product that contains 100% skin identical vegan collagen. So it was founded by a German doctor. His name is Eric Schultz, and he was sort of a pioneer in the reconstructive plastic surgery field. Later went into aesthetics and cosmetic surgery because through his scientific research, he was able to identify means of rehabilitating the skin post-surgery. So how can we get the best results for scar healing, for pigmentation, for ultimately inflammation of the skin? So he did so much research into this and ultimately developed what we now know as the pioneers in collagen, which is QMS. So around Eric Schultz's time, QMS was creating collagen products with bovine, which had about 97% skin identical capacity. And also, along with biotechnology, was able to penetrate the skin very, very well. Through his research and obviously funding, QMS has now been able to develop what's called recombinant collagen. A lot of brands around the world, scream and shout about collagen all over. And if I was sharing with you our full pitch deck, I would go into depth about the different types of collagen, what they do, how they penetrate. But ultimately, recombinant collagen is the only collagen on the market that is 100% skin identical. And QMS is the only brand that has been able to implement this into their products in a way that breaks down that molecule by almost 1/trillionth of the size. And so it then penetrates your skin far deeper. So their results are really, really felt and quite significant. So this kind of gives you guys a good snapshot of where QMS is placed compared to our competitors in the market when it comes to our hero ingredient and our hero products. We find, a lot of brands on the market right now that focus on skin rejuvenation, and they focus on hyperpigmentation, acne. They use a lot of acids. They use a lot of skin stripping ingredients to deliver a result. QMS's focus is primarily on treating the cause and not the symptom. And that's why going beneath the skin surface, far deep beneath the skin surface, to address ultimately inflammation is the brand's goal. QMS is also super unique just because they invest most of their budget in research and development and less so in marketing. I used to previously work for a brand under Estee Lauder companies, and if you know the world of cosmetics, you know that a large percentage of a brand success or what sells is the marketing, whereas QMS really relies on their results, and that's because of their investment into their ingredients and the research and development. So partnering with a brand like this as an institution or as a therapist gives you a level of credibility that really will set you apart. And it's honestly why us at Mweya as distributors took on this brand, because the results are second to none. This gives you kind of an idea of QMS within our sales channels. We have a very heavy scientific and medical heritage, and we only focus on spa institutes. So we are one of the only brands that doesn't go into the retail sales channel. We only focus on locations where a customer can experience a facial before they buy the retail product. So you won't find QMS in a Boots or a Bloomingdale's, an Edgar's, for example. You'll only find QMS in a spa. And that's because we really place a lot of emphasis on supporting the professional channel. And so as a therapist, as a spa owner, spa manager, spa director, as a recruiter, a brand like QMS is one that gives you a level of exclusivity that not only adds to your professionalism, your credibility, but also ensures almost safety, that you're not going to be drowned out by brands that are on Amazon and online. It's really focused on partnering with professionals. And that goes back into why the marketing is not so campaign heavy, global, Instagram influencers, because really the only partnerships that we prioritize is that of the professional channel. So this kind of goes into, what do we offer? How does the training look like? QMS operates and sells 5 signature facials. They each have a specific focus, but what is common throughout all of them is focusing on inflammation, and then what can we do once the skin has calmed down and we've addressed the inflammation to then revitalize or fill out fine lines and wrinkles, or address acne, or address sensitive skins, address hyperpigmentation. What a lot of people also, now that we've expanded QMS into Africa and the Middle East, they're always, what can we do about melasma? What can we do about post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation? What a lot of people don't realize is that those skin conditions, especially with people of color, are caused by inflammation beneath the skin and exacerbated by not, treating the skin barrier with respect, I like to say. So QMS main approach before anything else for whatever skin ailment we might be facing is to address the health of the skin barrier first, as well as the inflammation beneath the skin, and then go into sort of, all of their enhancements, the different massage styles, etc. And so you'll find that whether your skin concern, a white person might have a very, different skin concern to someone of color. Ultimately, if your skin barrier is compromised, whatever results you're looking for will not achieve greatly if your skin barrier is compromised and if you have inflammation beneath the skin. So that kind of goes into the facials. We also have body treatments, which in the last year have been revised, and we have a brand new protocol, which is really beautiful. They focus more of their research, obviously, on the facials, but the body treatments use the same ingredients, the same technology to deliver fantastic results. So the training for a brand like this is honestly quite in depth, and this is where partnering with Chido in terms of recruitment will be super crucial for us, because we're within this next year moving forward, we're doing a really huge push in terms of recruitment across the continent, across Africa, that draws in a high caliber of talent to execute professional protocols such as QMS that are super in depth, quite targeted. This is obviously focused on the Middle East. In terms of our training center in Dubai, but we also have training centers in Zimbabwe, and we deploy trainers throughout the continent, because the training is probably the most crucial part of this brand. So as a therapist, as a spa director manager, you want to ensure that before you're even bringing on a brand like this, you want to have a level that gives you a good foundation to start off with, so that once you start the training that we would go through, you feel quite confident already with the basics. Another huge part of this, in terms of kind of focusing not only on cruise ships, but going beyond that into the luxury hotel spas or even luxury aesthetic clinics here in Dubai. We as Mweya are actively looking for therapists that are qualified to come to Dubai, to come to Abu Dhabi, to come throughout the region. Obviously, right now, it's not very tasteful. It's not super attractive right now, but when it is, it's a fantastic place, and there's so much opportunity here and also throughout Africa. And so being able to kind of come in and have a good level of professionalism is super attractive to distributors such as ourselves, who don't only focus on, supplying, but also on training. So this gives you kind of a snapshot of our partners worldwide. We've just rolled out into the Middle East and Africa over the last year. And so we're still quite small, but we're building slowly but surely, and it's super exciting. The QMS is really well established in the professional channel throughout the world. They have the strongest presence right now in Europe and the States. Last year, though, their largest sales came out of China, followed by Russia. And then actually their third highest grossing market was South Africa. So South Africa has actually had QMS for the last 30 years, kind of from their inception. So they have a really strong presence in South Africa, and a lot of therapists, after undergoing the QMS training, have a much higher level of confidence that they usually can go into an aesthetic clinic and do quite well. So it translates across all channels within spa and aesthetics. And now, yeah, we're doing our best to roll out within the Middle East, within Africa. There's a huge push going into Australia as well. And so it's growing beautifully, but still very loyal to the professional channel. This is a very condensed, snapshot of QMS, and, trying to also tie it into, as a spa therapist, why would this be attractive to you? There's so much more information that we have on QMS and all of the really, really exciting opportunities with this brand from all directions. Chido is our point person for Africa. So obviously you can contact me directly should you have any further questions or interest, but Chido also will be able to answer your questions and be a great point of contact for QMS. And also for Mweya, which I didn't really touch on because this is really focused on the brand, but Mweya is our distribution company that my mom and I started out of the UAE, and we kind of do distribution. We have a couple of other brands, and we focus mainly on how we can drive success across Africa and kind of use the Middle East as a launch pad. So that's a snapshot of Mweya as well. I'll hand it back to you, Chido.
And I'll hand it back to you, Winnie. Thank you, Itai.
Thank you. Thank you. I think, guys, drum rolls for these two amazing ladies. Thank you for a good presentation. And I think I'm getting excited for our therapists in Kenya because I think I had their jobs. And we have the both of you to tell us about the opportunities out there. So before I open it up for Q&A, and by the way, the rest of us, we can start sending, you can ask questions, you can even type in your question in the chat in case you want me to read it out. But let me see a question. I've been sent a few questions. So first of all, a request, folks, Itai the results as places you're working with. If you have any work opportunities, Kenyans, we are known, we are workers, we don't joke, we don't play. So please, if the opportunities, feel free. There is a group of therapists where we are able to share those opportunities. So feel free, share that through, and I'll always be happy to share it into the group. But then one of the other questions I've been asked, if somebody is looking on the CVs working abroad, Chido, is that something you're able to help? If somebody wanted help, is that something you'll be able to do? And I'm not putting you on the spot. So it's just somebody, I've been texted this. So if somebody wanted to work and they need help, would you be able to help? And in the meantime, if the answer is yes, do you have an email address that you could share? And you probably could put that in the chat. So if somebody wants to work with you from an opportunity of, you know, with the whole recruitment, and you have opportunities, because we're assuming the fact that you're still working with Castaway or any other opportunities that you might come across. So that was one of the questions that had been asked. And allow me at this point also just to plug in one of our own, Sam. We have an amazing therapist called Sam. Sam is also helping people with the CVs, especially the whole ATS compliance thing. So Sam is in the Therapist Reloaded group. Make sure if you also need help, you can reach out. But yeah, over to you, Chido. Was it yes to those questions?
So unfortunately, it's a little bit complicated, but the short and long is no, because as you have seen, I wear a lot of different hats. So I can't open up to assist people in terms of I'm going to sit and help you learn how to do a CV. However, I am happy to do a group workshop where I can come in like what I've done today, but I just can't have everybody emailing me and be able to help everybody at different times. And then also, unfortunately, at this time, we are having a couple of complications across Africa with employment on cruise ships because of visas. I'm sure you guys have a little bit of knowledge about that.
Yes.
So at the moment, in terms of the cruise lines, which is why this was great, to show everybody that there is other stuff that you can do besides the cruise ships, because we do have that complication of not being able to currently get visas. However, I will allow you to share my Mweya email address for anybody who is interested. Like I said, we are looking to come into Africa. We are looking for spas to use QMS. We are looking for agents to help us find spas across all African countries as well. So if anybody feels they would sort of like to be an agent, work with the brand, they can most definitely contact me about that opportunity. And anybody, like I said, who is a spa owner who thinks that they might love to have QMS, because guys, if you get left behind now, we're going to grow fast. So you're actually one of the first countries we've done a full presentation to such a large group for, which is very exciting. So definitely for that, I can help. So I hope that didn't sound mean. I'm not being mean, but it's just
Like we are told we can only ask. We can only ask.
Yes,
And
exactly.
announce
But
us.
what I think maybe we can do is give send examples of successful CVs maybe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe not necessarily like walking you through your whole CV and editing it for you, but sending you an example of what is a successful CV in Dubai, what is a successful CV in like, you know, certain African countries, even the islands like Mauritius, Seychelles, what, you know, works. And then you can kind of go from there. Obviously, I think, yeah, Chido's a very busy lady. And but I think as much as we can help, we would love to,
Exactly.
because honestly, the overall goal, besides QMS, even for Mweya, is the empowerment and the upskilling of our own people. And as a Zimbabwean, I don't necessarily mean, just Zimbabweans or Southern and Eastern Africans. I really do feel like we need to be one in these initiatives and bringing each other together, cross border borders that were not even supposed to be given to us. I think it's super important for us to find ways of supporting each other. So in whatever way we can, even if it's not like, full 360, like, get you the CV, but if we can give you examples, that's definitely something we can do.
Excellent.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'm happy to come and do a workshop, like for an hour. If everybody joins, happy to do that. Yeah.
I was actually going to say, I think everybody else will agree with me and will definitely communicate. We are chap chap in Kenya here. So we will, I'm sure a workshop will be very good. Everybody will appreciate that, because it will be nice to be able to look at least at a CV from different regions and what it is that they want. That's one. Two, Shira is asking, and I've also just been sent another one on my phone. Can we organize maybe like a product training session where we can get one of us? We are a couple of schools in here. We can have a facility where you could probably do product training. Is that something that probably we could discuss and see if that's possible?
For
Itai?
QMS,
Huh?
for QMS
Yes,
specifically.
for QMS. Yes, for QMS, of course.
For QMS, the trainings are carried out once we are uptaken by an institution.
Okay.
So if a spa or even if it's like an aesthetic academy, whatever it might be, wants to implement QMS at their location, that's when we come in and we do a full end-to-end training. That's usually about 3 days.
Okay.
It goes really in depth into the product knowledge. It goes obviously fully in depth into protocols, but we never do just product knowledge training, because as I said, QMS will only sell you a product if you're at a facility where you can also have the treatment. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah.
Okay, great. More questions, folks? Questions?
Looks like we did a good job. No
I
questions.
was going to say
Yay.
this is amazing.
We
Here,
answered everything.
solid guys. You don't have any questions? Okay. Just before I close, I just want to make sure we're giving an opportunity for questions. Great. I'm sure there'll be lots of follow-up conversations. And to everybody who's attended, we will share the presentation. We will share the presentation, and so that if there's any other thing coming out of it, and I am sure there'll be questions or follow-up connections following up. So folks, you want to talk to these amazing ladies, you can reach out, right? So we're seeing good comments. It was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I appreciate the comments. Thank you.
Yes, and we hope everybody has walked away feeling like they know what they need to do to get ready to be able to work abroad, and then not just thinking about the cruise ships. Great. So Lucy, I want to, okay, somebody's hand is up. I was waiting for a hand up. Yes, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I admitted myself. Thank you so much. So my name is Josephine. Thank you, Winnie, for the invite. It was so quick, but I did manage to be here. It was a beautiful presentation from Chido and from Itai, but mostly what Chido said, I really want to encourage the therapists in Kenya that yes, you are limitless. But then again, open up yourself, go to different websites, find something out there. One thing I'm going to touch is about the CV, because I've heard that's an issue that a lot of you are raising. I work in the industry. I'm based in the Maldives, a member of African Wellness Initiative by Global Wellness. And what I've noticed is the CVs that come from Kenya, you receive one CV in a year. So there's the website like Job Maldives, there are places like Dubai where I've worked for many years. I've worked in Monaco. I've traveled the world. I've worked with cruise ships as well. I was a first graduate of Steiner. those years. So I've really traveled the world, and I don't want you guys starting to guess my age. So, so yes. But what I say is that, contrary to what they tell you, don't put a photo on the CV. When I receive a CV, the first thing I look is your photo. Because what? Because we want to understand this person. What your photo says a lot about you. So every CV that I receive, the first thing I look is, how does she look like? How does he look like? What is the face telling me? If it's no photo, that is a CV. Mostly I'll put it on the side because sometimes you get 100 CV. And maybe I will look at it far much later. But the photo usually will capture me. The other thing is the reference check. Do not put your, I do, normally we say, yes, we will need reference check, but we don't put the reference check, especially if you're applying. Let the reference check be something that people reach out to you, say, you've come this far, we need 4 reference checks. Why am I saying this? Maybe you put a reference check today, tomorrow you fall out with the person, then they give you a bad reference check. You also need to be aware when they are reaching out for your reference check. So I
Yes.
need to know, okay, now you receive an email with say, give me 3 reference. So you can't be able to tell the person, may I please put you as my reference? Then you're having a conversation other than this generic CV that you put somebody as a reference check 10 years ago, and then they even forgot, you fell out with them, and then we do a reference check, and they're like, I wouldn't hire that person. Then another thing, just yes, it's good to have a CV, but how many pages are your CV? Don't give me a life history from the time you did a blow dry to the time you present. Sometimes it gets exhausting. I really want to browse quickly. What can she do? Deep tissue massage, this. Education, where did she study? What qualifications? ITEC, CIDESCO, SIPTAC, what is she having? Is she a massage therapist? Is she a facialist? Is she a person who can multitask? This is what I'm looking for. What is her achievement? Has she been what are the best therapists in the spa? Has she got an LQ standard, FOB standard? This is what we are looking at. What is the other thing that we are looking at is how often do you change your employee? I'm not going to hire you if you hired in 2024 in one place in January, and then in September you're another place. Then September to December you enter another place. Come on. I really am not going to invest. Also, in the learn to reinvest on yourself. Yes, it's one thing to go to college to learn what, for example, when academy is gonna offer you. Perfect. You have got your diploma, you come out. Did you really bother to invest on yourself? Did you learn anything advanced? Have you really taken time to learn something different? So it all comes back to that. And it's really, what I keep on saying is that the world is really big outside here. There's a lot of opportunities. Asia has captured most of it, but Africa really need to wake up and capture the rest of it. We've been amazing therapists coming from South Africa. Why? Because South Africa, anybody hears facial, you think of Camelot in South Africa, you think of getting internship from South Africa, but also I'm gonna challenge Winnie as well that they need to start reaching out to places to place your people for internship. You need to look for one spas that you can partner with out of Kenya, where you can place therapists for internship. Of course, in academy, you've got like 2, 3 therapists from the top level, and it's a good opportunity. You partner with them, you say, look, I'm having graduates by the end of the year. Do you want an internship? Internship in a said country means that they still get paid. If they prove themselves, then they can get employed. The whole thing is culture, respect, integrity. Yes, Kenyans are hardworking, political, yes, but then when you come to the outside world, you have to learn to keep the politics part on the low. And I'm sure Chido is going to agree with me on that. Yes, we party hard, yes, but also remember, in partying, you still need to work hard, you still need to show up, you still need to be open to learn, be open to unlearn to learn.
Mm.
Maybe you did Afro Large like this for years, an Afro Large that never reaches climax. Then you come, you're told, no, you need to change your Afro Large, you need to sink into your hips, you need to use your body, you need to do this, then be open to and learn really. There's quite a lot of opportunity out there, only if you're totally open to embrace it. That's all I have for now. Thank you, Winnie, for inviting me on such a short
And
notice.
thank you so much for coming in. I actually wasn't sure whether I should put you on the spot and ask you what the experience is like.
I know you wanted to
You
do that, so I
said that.
saved you that.
Thank you, because I think it also was nice for us to hear our fellow Kenyan out there and having this experience. So, a question and one of the challenges we are having, two challenges actually. Running a college where when our therapists finish, we send them to a lot of spas here for some reason don't seem to want to take them for internship. That seems to be a bit of a challenge, and I know that's really important. So if you're here, you're a spa owner, aesthetic clinic owner, please take up guys internship and all that so that you can also give schools feedback. But the other question is the market out there preferring multi-talented therapists? Because we're at a time where we seem to be getting very specialized. People come to school and they want to, and like everybody just want to come and do advanced aesthetics, but they don't also want to start at the bottom. And I say at the bottom, they don't necessarily have to do the mani-pedis, but we are also seeing our market here now. Most jobs that have been posted actually since January, most employers are looking for multi-talented therapists. And even if not everything, not the typical health and skincare therapists that we did in South Africa, but they are wanting them to have a bit more other than, for example, just facials or massages. And massages, I want them to have not just holistic massage. What would be your advice to a therapist listening here today who says their passion is skincare, but they probably, do they necessarily need to get another skill or not? Not really.
I think when you say your passion is skincare, then you're only limiting yourself to work mostly in clinics like in Dubai, where you have the DHL, but you still have to go through a training in Dubai where you get DHL certified.
Okay.
My advice is if you can just go in and start every spa, the massages on the higher consumable than facials. So tell me, why should I hire you to only come and do facials in a wellness spa when I can hire somebody else to come and multitask? Yes, you still be there to go to whenever facials comes in, but I still want you to perform a massage at the same time.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. You have to be open to learn when you come outside here. For example, I partner with one of the schools in Australia known as Early Locus. Now, when we receive their therapists for internship, they it doesn't matter whether they did facials, you still have to come to our basics. And they say what? Everybody must be able to perform signature massages, whether you're a facialist, whether you're who. So as is introduction, then you build yourself. Patience is one thing that we need to learn. I did hairdressing when I was still in university, you and taking medicine, but I still did hairdressing. So what? I still did manicure and pedicures. I did waxing, which I can never wax anybody in my life. But you still have to learn these little things to build yourself up. We all have a gift, we all have a passion, but give yourself time to learn the basics and then give yourself time to advance. Facials are advancing every day. So there's no advance, but every single day is a day that you keep on learning. So give yourself time to learn the basics. Yes, you're passionate about advanced aesthetic, but have a foundation. Have a foundation
can
so
I
that when at your
just,
CV, I can say, I can be able to hire this person because I know therapist utilization is important. So these are things that we actually check.
Okay.
Yes,
Can I
Chido.
just also, yeah, can I just also come in there? Absolutely. You are your only limit to yourself, right? When I was on the ships, I went in, I think my first contract, I was a facialist therapist, but I ended up doing teeth whitening. My manager saw that I was great at sales, and she was like, listen, I can do a quick training for you. We're going to be in Miami. You can go, like, you've just got to be willing to learn. And sometimes I know it can also be financial constraint as well. Like I said, it's not cheap, but do as much as you can, because why not? You are only, I hated, like, and don't, even up to today, don't ask me to do a manicure and a pedicure. I hate, but if I have to make money, guess what? I'll do the manicure and pedicure. I also remember that after I did my contracts on ships, there's another thing where I was saying as well, cruise ships are sort of good to give you about working hard. So after my cruise ships, I went and I worked at a hotel
in the UK in Langdale, and the girls, they used to, oh, we by law we can only do 4 massages a day. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
tired. I was like, I would do all the massage. It was busy with my. I was like, how can you say no to money? So for me, that I think that's one of the things that ships to. It was the drive, not necessarily that I needed the money at that time. I was very young. Look, I didn't have student debt or anything like that, but I was just trained to be hungry for success, and to like just seeing my paycheck being the highest was just something. So why limit yourself if you've got the tools and the ability? Do everything that you can. I'm even Winnie, I think you and I were talking about it. We're thinking about going and studying like to be a nutritionist. Yes, we did diet and nutrition as part of our qualification, but we were talking about what happens when we get older and we're not able to be, as you can't do massages, you can't, like, what are we gonna do? So it never ever ever stops. But one thing as well that I just wanted to put in there, I heard you and I absolutely agree with you, but this is where we have to be slightly careful about photographs on CVs.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you know where you're applying to.
Yeah.
In some parts of the world, they don't want a photograph because I work like for a UK organization. I'll tell you why it is, because everybody's woke, right? So it shouldn't matter what somebody looks like. So you have to research the country and the company. There are some countries where yes, it will, but there's some countries where no, if you put it on there, it's gonna be a negative thing. So definitely that's why we're saying CVs and all of this is such a complex subject. um there's so much going on in the world. You'll see even like we have created, like, like I'm saying, because I'm working for a UK organization, some of the things I cannot say good afternoon ladies when I walk in to do an examination. I have to say good afternoon learners. You have to be so careful. So this is where I think in my presentation I spoke about cultural awareness and intelligence and stuff like that. So even when you're applying, there are countries like Mauritius and still here in Africa where we haven't caught up yet. We'll get there. We'll get there as well. But yeah, so we just have to be careful that you are making sure that wherever it is you are applying for, you are aware what type of an organization they are and the country and what they believe. So it does get a little bit complicated. You're going to find yourself redoing a CV for every single job application you do, unfortunately. That's just the way the world is today.
And I suppose we say guys a lot here.
Yes.
We need to be very
yeah.
careful. Yes, we're not
Yes.
supposed to say you guys.
Do you know that a teacher in the UK got fired from an all-girls school for saying good morning girls because one of the learners said, you see, I'm even like learners, I'm even like
Yes.
trying to, one of them got said, no, but I don't identify as a girl. And you think it's ridiculous. You're like, but you are at an all-girls school. So, what do you
Yeah.
mean? But so there are things we also have to be aware of. I was redoing my contract and I got asked what pronouns I use and things like that. So yeah, we just have to be very aware of the world.
Yeah, very important. And I think also the other thing I've heard a lot, which is true, retail,
Yes.
right? So in terms of multi-skills, I know when I went to Camelot, I had to do everything. Hence, I mean, diet and nutrition was it, business plan was it. We had to do a thesis and defend it. Then retail, every place I worked in South Africa, we had a target for retail. We sold like mad. So this also, I think, something even for our Kenyan market, you need to get in. And maybe, yeah, let's not, like Chido was saying, maybe not choose the word sell, but go with prescribe, because otherwise you're doing these amazing treatments and they're not taking care of themselves at home. The results are not going to stay. So great. As a comment is, yes, of course, it's nice that for therapists to know what they're passionate about. I'm reading that they need to try everything so they end up knowing, and also just to open the doors for yourselves. And Josephine, there was a question of, do you have any of those links, websites where people can apply for jobs? I know like cruises, there was all cruise jobs. Even if you don't have from on top of your head right now, maybe you can share that later. if
Yeah,
you do,
I'll
and we'll be very happy to share that in the group. Yeah, so that's about it.
On
So,
that, are you aware of the restrictions? Is Kenya under the restrictions? Just while we talk about all cruise jobs, I think
um,
currently you're only getting 3 months.
so
Yeah, they
I'm
have
not,
still done a 3 month contract in the cruise ship still. Dubai, I
yes.
know it was also restricted a little bit earlier, apart from now that things are happening. I know some few months
No,
ago,
as
Dubai did
in
not still
no,
getting
as no. I think we've misunderstood my question. Sorry. As in when you go to the American embassy as a Kenyan currently to get a visa for a C1D visa is what allows you to work on ships. It must be a minimum of a year for them to even employ you. And I think under this, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but under his new thing, let's just check. So if a lot of you are applying for ships and you're not hearing back, that will be the reason, because you cannot go and work on a ship with a 3-month visa. So you
Yeah.
have to wait for that ban to be lifted. You need at least a year. Because I know a lot of people have been frustrated. It's not, maybe not even that you are doing it wrong, but the visa. So if they, until that opens for you guys, for
Passport.
you see, I even slip up as well, right? I even slip up
Passport.
as well. Yes. So just so you're aware, yes, you can go onto the cruise ship jobs and even apply with Castaway. There's also so many agents. Some of the agencies are amazing. There's a couple of really good agencies in South Africa, but they will not even bother to contact you until your country's restriction has been lifted. We had it in Zimbabwe, and then I don't know, they overturned it. I don't know, God played a big part there, because most Zimbabweans are surviving off working cruise ships right now. We have so many complications, but yeah. So just ensure that you check on the US website to see when that has been lifted.
Great. There is a question on how do you get the DHA license? I think that goes to Josephine.
Yes.
the DHA license. Usually, that you have to be based in Dubai. When I did it, I was based in Dubai. And then when you're working there, you can enroll in about it, because it also takes a lot of studies and you have to do an exam.
Okay.
So it's not an easy one to get, but yes, a lot of people get it, but also calls commitment for yourself to be able to learn and for you to attend the exams.
Okay. Great. Any other question? It's already almost 9:15. Do we have any other questions? Okay. I want to hand it over to Lucy. Somebody's asking about the gentleman's number who is doing CVs. I'll share that. His name is Paul. He's in the group, the therapist group. Paul is former ACI, so most ACI folks here would know him, but yes, we will share that. Great. So thank you so much, Chido. Thank you so much, Josephine, and for that information. We really, really do appreciate. Please feel free, if you find any opportunities, feel free to share. We are always happy to share them with the group. And last one, I always end with this. Folks, we are saying, please join the association so that we can have amazing conversations like this. And it is through friendships that we're making that we have. I was telling Josephine when we were talking earlier, we have the resources, we have the answers. Look at this conversation, very easy with answers right here. We didn't need to go far. We didn't need to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. We had the answers amongst ourselves. Go onto the website, SWAC website. Right now, we are not taking any membership fees. We are recommending come in on an individual member, write an email. We do this pro bono. So sometimes we do need people to help us do this. And Lucy and I keep saying we need to retire soon and we need to hand over this to you young people so that you can drive this. But in the meantime, please join us. Thank you so much for those who have. We want to keep you, somebody's asking for the website and that I don't want to miss. You will go apply, we get the email. You're not going to get any, or even if communication is slow, don't worry, you'll be able to get us there. There's a link for the website. And just go through, just also to understand what's on the website. We don't have a phone number right now. We're all busy, we're swamped. We are not enough of us doing this. So send an email. We do receive the email, and that's it, and we can start communicating. And we're looking to have a lot more conversations like this. This conversation we've had today was because these came up a lot when we did the Harmony Gala last year, and the conversations we've been having. It's youth therapists who've actually come and said, you want to find out what opportunities are there. And because of that, it's translated into this conversation. So please do coming in. Next month, to get you excited, we'll be looking at what you need to be covering in terms of what, even when you go to school, what should you cover, taking different roles. If you're already in the industry and you have a particular title, but you want to transition to something else, what should you be looking at? So we're basically looking at occupational standards and job roles and job descriptions and the treatments you should do and scope of work that you should be doing within certain qualifications. So I think that's going to be very exciting, and it will be a really good one for everybody to join in. Make sure you join us next month. We normally do this every first Monday of the month. Easy to diarize. Just now open your diary, slot as in for the rest of the year, every first Monday of the month. There is a website, and thank you. Thank you so much. I'm handing it over to Lucy so she can end the meeting for us.
No, thank you all. And my excitement to be able to have people, different people having to talk. One of the things I'm hearing very loud and clear, invest in yourself. If people don't invest in themselves, you limit yourself. I think this is a takeaway that I've gotten from this conversation. The other takeaway I'm hearing is do your CV and update it regularly. Know what is required. Do your research. Another takeaway, understand the cultures where you're working or where you'll be, whoever you'll be conversing with. It's very, very key. I am very happy to meet new faces and others that I've met as well. I'm hoping, Winnie, our target by the end of this year is that we have 100 new faces that we see consistently.
These folks know a lot of people. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's make it happen.
Thank you. We are a tree. Every branch needs to have a leaf or a leaf or whatever. So at the end of the year, 100, and we'll have a celebration to say we have made it to 100 consistent faces. And we say members. Thank you so much. See you next month, Monday let's put the date. Let's say the date. It will be Monday the 6th, April. Is it March? When March? April. Okay? Diarize that.
Yes. So it's going to be 6th, actually, which is, hold on, 6 is going to be Easter Monday?
Seems like, does that affect anybody? We
No.
are people who work crazy hours.
Yeah,
Does it affect
I think
us?
we can still do it, and the fact that it's in the evening and people will be coming back to work the following day, I think we can do that. It will be an exciting conversation, and please feel free to send also conversations that you want us to have at these meetings, and any of you is invited to also speak to us. So there's nobody said to speak. We want to learn from each other. So you have a burning topic you want to speak to us about, please just let us know. We'll be very happy to have you. Great.
Yeah. In fact, I think more and more other people should speak.
Yes, completely.
Thank you
so much.
You.
Thank you,
Nice
everybody.
meeting you, Chido.
Keep warm.
And thank you. Good night.
Josephine, yes. Okay. Good night. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.